Right now, there's a man watching this, thinking his story is different. He believes what he has with that married woman is real, something special, something no one else could understand. He tells himself she's stuck in a cold marriage, that he's the one who really sees her, that he's her true love who showed up too late. But in a few minutes, everything you believe about that will collapse, and you'll start wondering how you ever thought it was love in the first place. Before that happens, let's talk about what's actually going on inside your head right now. You were not in love. You were trapped in a chemical loop that is messing with your brain. Every secret text, every hidden meeting, every whisper of, "I wish I met you sooner," sends a rush through you that is as powerful as any drug. You're addicted to a woman who goes home to another man every night, and your mind is calling that addiction passion. When you get involved with a married woman, you are not building a relationship. You are repeating a psychological pattern that has been lived 1,000,000 times before. It's not unique. I could tell you your entire story without knowing your name. The first meetings, the promises, the guilt, the hope and the heartbreak waiting at the end. You're not living a movie. You're playing a role in the same predictable story that's been written countless times, thinking you're the one exception. Let's be brutally honest. The woman telling you her husband doesn't get her, that they barely touch, that she's only staying for the kids or the mortgage, she's performing not just for you, but for herself. Because admitting that she wants both the safety of marriage and the excitement of an affair would destroy the image she has of herself. So she builds a story where she's the victim, her husband's the villain, and you're the savior. And you buy into it, because you need to. Without that fantasy, you'd have to face the truth. You were just the guy sleeping with someone else, his wife. Here's the thing most men don't want to believe. Women who cheat rarely do it for the first time. Despite what she says about how she's never done this before, that you're different, that she's never felt this way, she's lying. Maybe not on purpose, but she is. Affairs don't start out of nowhere. They build up slowly, crossing small emotional lines, then flirty ones, then physical ones. By the time she's with you, she's already learned how to live two lives. You're not the first, and you won't be the last. Think about what kind of person can kiss her kids goodnight, tell her husband she's heading to yoga, then drive to your apartment like nothing's wrong. That's not passion, that's compartmentalization, the ability to live in separate worlds and believe each one is true. In her mind, she's the good wife at home, the misunderstood woman with you, and the strong friend everyone admires. None of those versions are real. They're just masks, and you're only seeing the one meant for you. You're not her partner. You're her audience. Let's go through how this story always plays out, because no matter what you tell yourself, your situation will end in one of four ways. No exceptions, no miracles, just different versions of the same outcome. The first kind of woman is chasing validation. She's bored, feels invisible, maybe questioning her attractiveness as the years pass. Then you show up, listening to her, complimenting her, making her feel like she still matters. But you need to understand something important. She doesn't actually want you. She wants what your attention represents. Every time you text her, compliment her, or make her feel seen, she gets her fix. You're not her soulmate. You're her ego boost. In the beginning, she'll seem obsessed. The sex will be wild, the conversations deep, the connection electric. She'll say things like, "I've never felt this alive." But the second she's recharged her confidence, she starts to fade. Suddenly she's busy, confused, guilty. Her husband's suspicious. She needs time. What she really means is, you've served your purpose. She's filled up on validation, and now you're just another complication she's ready to cut loose. Then there's the second type, the drama addict. This one's more dangerous. She doesn't love you. She loves the chaos you bring, the secrecy, the tension, the emotional roller coaster. That's her drug. She thrives on the highs and lows. Every argument, every tearful confession, every "we can't keep doing this," followed by a passionate reunion. It keeps her alive. She's not trying to escape her marriage. She's trying to keep her story exciting. She'll swing between extremes. One day she's leaving him for you, the next she can't because of money or the kids or guilt. You'll never know where you stand. One week she's all in, the next she's gone cold. You'll think you're losing her, pour your heart out, and she'll light up again, not because she loves you, but because your pain feeds her. You've become part of her emotional stage play, and she's both the star and the director. She'll never leave because ending the chaos ends her thrill. You're not in a love story, you're trapped in her soap opera. The third situation feels like a win at first. After all the sneaking around, all the promises and tension, she finally leaves her husband for you. For a little while it feels like victory. You've won, but give it time. The moment she's fully yours, something shifts. The thrill disappears. The excitement that once defined your connection fades into routine. She's no longer forbidden. She's just there. And suddenly, all those ordinary things you never noticed before start showing up. Bad moods, arguments, stress. See, the fantasy you both built can't survive reality. She didn't fall for who you are. She fell for what you represented. Escape. You were her way out, her distraction, her adventure. But now, there's no more mystery, no more secret danger keeping it alive. You become the same as what she ran from: stability, familiarity, the everyday grind. And the cruel twist is, she'll start blaming you for it. The man she thought was her rescue turns into just another guy with bills, flaws, and habits she finds irritating. Soon she'll start saying the same things about you that she once said about her husband, that you've changed, that the spark's gone, that she needs space. And before long, she'll do what she's trained herself to do: start another affair. With someone new, probably another man who believes the same lies you once did. Then comes the fourth scenario, the one that traps most men the longest. She never leaves her husband, never really plans to, but keeps you on the hook with just enough attention to keep you addicted. She's an expert at feeding you crumbs of affection while keeping your hope alive. A late-night text, a miss you here, a few stolen hours when she can get away. Every time you start to pull back, she gives you a little more to keep you hanging on. She'll say things like, "Just give me time," or "I can't leave yet, but I will." You'll wait months, maybe years, believing the future's just around the corner. But it never comes, because she's never leaving. She has everything she wants: the husband who provides stability, and you, her emotional outlet, her excitement, her backup plan. You're not her man, you're her escape hatch. You think you're her lover, but really, you're her emotional support system. She knows how to keep you right where she wants you, wanting more, but never getting it. It's not love. It's manipulation dressed as connection, and the longer you stay, the more it eats away at who you are. Now let's look at what's really happening inside your mind. What you're feeling isn't love, it's addiction. You're caught in something psychologists call intermittent reinforcement, the most powerful and destructive behavioral loop there is. It's what keeps gamblers glued to slot machines and addicts chasing their next high. Sometimes she replies instantly, showering you with affection and attention. Other times, she disappears for days, leaving you restless, panicked, desperate. That uncertainty, that randomness, hooks your brain. You never know when the next hit will come, so you keep chasing it. The highs get higher, the lows get darker, and before long your whole emotional world starts revolving around her. And then there's the scarcity effect. Because she isn't fully yours, your mind tricks you into believing she's more valuable than she really is. You can't have her completely, so every small piece of her feels like gold. If she were always available, calling you every morning, spending weekends with you, posting pictures together, she'd stop feeling so special. But because every second you get with her feels stolen, your brain overvalues her. You've turned her into your drug, your reward, your obsession. The twisted part is she knows it. Maybe not logically, but on some instinctive level, she understands that her mystery, her inaccessibility, is what keeps you hooked. The second she becomes fully yours, the power shifts. you'd see her differently, so she never lets that happen. She keeps you in that space between hope and despair because that S where your devotion burns the brightest. And let's destroy another lie while we're here. When she tells you that her marriage is dead, that they never touch anymore, that they sleep in separate beds, that's not the full story. Odds are they still sleep together. Those nights she can't talk because he's suspicious. That weekend trip for the kids, they're still sharing a bed, and not just for sleep. The story she's feeding you about her loveless marriage is something she needs you to believe. Because if you knew she was still giving herself to him, you wouldn't feel like her savior anymore. Her husband, he probably senses something's off. Maybe not your name or face, but he feels the distance, the new energy, the changed habits, the late replies, the locked phone, the sudden gym schedule, the subtle guilt she carries. Men aren't as clueless as you think. Some even know and look the other way. For a few, her affair is a relief. It takes the pressure off. They don't have to meet her emotional needs anymore, don't have to fix the marriage. Your great romance might just be his quiet escape. Now think about what kind of woman can live like this. Telling her husband she loves him in the morning, texting you "I miss you" at lunch, kissing her kids goodnight, and then sneaking away to message you again before bed. To juggle all of that, she has to split herself into pieces. Wife, lover, mother, victim. It's not romance, it's dysfunction. And the fact that she can keep those worlds separate without breaking means she's been doing it a long time. Eventually, it ends. It always does. Maybe her husband finds out. Maybe she ghosts you. Maybe she just fades away quietly, choosing comfort over chaos. But when it ends, the crash hits harder than you can imagine. This isn't a normal breakup. It's a collapse. The destruction of an entire fantasy world you built and lived inside for months, maybe years. Everything you thought was love, every promise, every stolen moment, it all comes crashing down. You're not just losing a woman, you're losing a version of yourself that believed in something that never existed. You'll replay every conversation, every signal, every lie you missed. The same cuts deep, not just because you were used, but because you knew on some level it would end like this. You ignored it because the addiction felt too good to stop. The regret eats at you. You think of the time you wasted waiting for messages that never came, of all the things you sacrificed. Maybe your own relationship, your peace of mind, even your self-respect. And now, when you need comfort the most, you can't talk to anyone. You can't go to friends or family, because in everyone else's story, you're the villain, you're the homewrecker, the other man, the one people whisper about. So, you sit with it alone. The guilt, the confusion, the wreckage. Some men never come back from that. They become bitter, angry, convinced that love is just a lie. They stop trusting women. They stop trusting themselves. Because once you've lived in that kind of deception, lying, hiding, pretending, it rewires your brain. It eats away at your moral compass. You get comfortable being the liar, the secret, the one in the shadows. You can't just flip a switch and become the good guy again. And what's worse, you start to see the world through her eyes. You stop believing in loyalty, in honesty, in commitment. You've seen too much. Seen what people are capable of, seen what you're capable of. Every future relationship feels unstable, like it's only a matter of time before someone cheats or lies again. You expect betrayal before it happens. You keep people at arm's length. And in trying to protect yourself, you make real connection impossible. The truth that hurts most is this: she never loved you. She loved how you made her feel. You were her distraction, her proof that she was still desirable, her thrill. You could have been anyone who gave her that same rush. And deep down, you always knew it. You just didn't want to face it. You wanted to believe this was different, that your story was the exception. But it wasn't. It was the same story, just with your name in it. When it's finally over, she moves on faster than you think. She still has her home, her husband, her routine. Maybe she even finds another affair in a few months. a new man to feed her stories to, a new escape to keep her life interesting. But you're left with the damage. You're left staring at the mess, realizing you burned years of your life for something that never had a future. You called it love, but it was just need, dressed up as romance. While she slides back into her life, you're rebuilding yours from scratch. Her husband keeps living with a woman who lies every day. Her kids grow up feeling that something's wrong, that love is made of secrets and silence. And you carry the weight of knowing you helped destroy something that once meant something to someone. You told yourself it was love, but real love doesn't need to hide. Real love doesn't leave people bleeding behind it. Every time you stayed, you chose pain. Not just for yourself, but for everyone involved. You weren't fixing anything. You were breaking more things to feel alive. Every text, every meeting, every promise kept you in the cycle a little longer. You weren't building a love story. You were living a tragedy. The only way out is full separation. No goodbyes, no closure, no maybe one day. Block her, delete her number, walk away completely. You'll feel empty at first, like part of yours missing. But that's not heartbreak, that's withdrawal. You're not losing love, you're detoxing from a drug that's been rotting you from the inside. Then comes the hard part, figuring out why you got there. Why did you choose someone who was never fully yours? What part of you needed to chase pain to feel connection? What made you confuse chaos with love? Maybe you grew up around love that was always just out of reach. Maybe pain feels familiar. That's what you need to face, because if you don't, you'll do it again. Maybe not with a married woman, but with someone else who can't give you what you need. Real love doesn't hide in dark corners or survive on secrets. It's steady, honest, available. It builds, it doesn't destroy. It might not be as intense as what you had, but it's deeper, realer, and safe. And that's what you've been missing all along. If you're married, you have even more work ahead. You betrayed someone who trusted you completely. They deserve honesty, not every painful detail, but the truth. Because your silence just keeps the lie alive. You can't go back to who you were before, but you can become better. The kind of man who chooses honesty over excitement, peace over chaos, integrity over lies. There's a life waiting for you outside of this, a real one. One where you can be fully loved, openly, without guilt, without hiding. But you'll never find it as long as you are still chained to someone else's life. Every moment you spend waiting for her is a moment stolen from yourself. Every message, every day you stay, you're choosing pain over peace. Deep down, you already know that. You've always known this would end. The only question now is whether you'll keep betraying that truth, or whether you will finally choose yourself, because this isn't about her choosing you. It's about you choosing you.